Welcome everybody to our 20th webinar on Resolve the Unsolved by Panacea. In fact, we have been getting a lot of feedbacks from our entrepreneur friends who have been joining us over the last 2 months, and there have been requests for various new concepts to be discussed since we are living in a technology age. And with that, we have been using technology a lot and we have been marketing a lot using internet, digital. We have been alive in the digital space. So we thought of sharing with you and discuss on a topic which is very, very important and pertinent in today's environment. So digital marketing is the end, and everybody has been using it the way they have understood it. And there was an opportunity where we discussed with one of our colleagues and friends and associate, Mr. Ashish, and despite his busy schedule, Ashish acknowledged and he decided to spend this 1 hour with us today and share his experience and the way he and his organization has been delving and going into it. Let me once again introduce our panel to everybody. Today with me, I have Mr. Ravinder Goel and Mr. Ashish Tiwari. Mr. Ashish Tiwari is today our guest speaker. He's a marketing professional with over 16 years of experience into various verticals of marketing. He currently heads the marketing and digital transformation for Future Generali India Life Insurance. And during his 16 years, he had worked with brands like Hero, Vodafone, HCL, Jubilant, Nokia, eBay, General Motors, and extensively trained on consumer trade and B2B marketing and analytics. He has handled assignments of digital marketing, consumer insights, data analytics, CRM, e-commerce, and product management. Ashish is is a very tech savvy professional, and he has deep dived into various platforms into using mobile, web, and voices, and has been consistently involved into it. Welcome, Ashish, to the webinar, and thanks for joining us. And let me once again introduce to you Mr. Ravinder Goel. Mr. Goel is part of Panacea. He is a tech entrepreneur with 25 years of experience and has been training and mentoring various startups in the last couple of months and years. Prior to that, he has been engaged in imparting skill trainings across the country. Today, himself also spent a decent amount of time into digital marketing space.
We lost your voice
Mr. Goel once again. In fact, I'd request Mr. Goel to say a few words and start off the session, please. Mr. Goel.
Thank you, Sandeep. And I welcome everybody in our 20th webinar training on behalf of Panacea IBIS Consulting Group's forum, Resolve the Unsolved. As you know, the topic is digital marketing matters. One of the survey says 45% of companies do not have a clearly defined digital marketing strategy, and 17% of the companies have a digital marketing strategy in place, but it is separate from their marketing plan. So it is something like that. People call it web presence, and they say that we are online and we have everything in place. But actually, their online team, the digital team, are generally they are more like orphans. Nobody includes their KPIs and they don't include their targets. It is only that they have to maintain a online presence. So for many of us, the digital marketing is limited to online presence. But now as the era is changing, the strategies, tactics, tools to do market the business well are in place. A lot of new knowledge have developed, and definitely during COVID time, our life, other than work from home, it has become mostly digital. So for everyone, online has become a part of their life, which was definitely not that much before COVID period. So marketing, in case if we talk about the digital marketing, we tend to waste around 37 to 95% of the marketing budget on online. I'm sorry, Ashish. Probably I'm just using some commonly available data, so I'm not sure how far I'm right.
No, no, that's okay. That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
All right. So if one is having the right digital marketing strategy in place, growing business becomes more easier.
Right.
Like few common key performance indicators, what I feel is like we can look at unique visitor per day per month, pages per visits, new leads per day per month, marketing qualified leads, conversion rates, attrition rate, cost per conversion, conversion rate per keyword. So there are like 135 plus KPIs you can allocate to your digital marketing team, on which you can probably think of that how your digital marketing team is performing. So if at all you are feeling unprepared or digital marketing is something new or still alien to the team, don't worry. We have uh, probably Ashish who is going to talk on this digital marketing in and outs in this webinar training. And about Ashish, Sandeep Ghosh has already explained. He's a senior person and very good experience, thoroughly experienced on this. Sandeep ji forget about one thing, that he is a TEDx speaker as well. So a TEDx speaker has become a qualified.
Right.
So I thank you everyone and for listening to me, and back to Sandeep to take this further and have Ashish on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. Thank you. Ashish, it's
Yes, Mr.
over to
Ghosh.
you.
Thank you.
Take on.
Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Ghosh, and thanks, Mr. Goyal. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I think we have a couple of people joining from rest of the parts of world, so I do not know what time zone you might be. So kindly accept my apologies. And this brings, I mean, digital. If we were to look at it, I think one of the most interesting topics, and one of the hottest debated topics for the day. My humble request would be, while I will try and dwell onto some of the aspects of digital, at any point in time you have any thoughts, please feel free to interrupt, to add, to jump into, and to chime in. So, with that said, I mean, the biggest question which each one of us probably will have, and as Mr. Goel said, digital is becoming important. We were to give it a thought, why is digital becoming important? Okay, I think none of us would have any doubts about it. That today, with the technology becoming omnipresent, the devices becoming ubiquitous, these are two things which are giving a rise to digital. The what radio took about 30 years to achieve, mobile took only about 7 years to achieve, and the number of participants which come on a TV channel, what it takes for a day to reach out, a YouTube does that in half a second. And that is the power of digital why we are talking. And there's a very nice saying about it also: no one is less prepared for tomorrow than the person who holds the most rigid beliefs. So if anyone, and despite working on to digital for almost about now 18 years, I think that I am still starting up. That's how digital is, because of what I actually did yesterday. By the time you go on to implement, some of it has already changed. So please do not treat me as an expert, and hence I said that please feel free to chime in. What is digital if we want to run through it? Is it Facebook makes it digital? Is it website makes it digital? What is it that's gonna make digital? And what I feel is what makes digital is your business process. We talk about digital can very easily be broken into two parts. One is about your providing efficiency, providing reach, and collating the connect. These are the three very, very specific. When I do any amount of thinking, and when I start looking at digital, I actually look at digital into three these verticals. And we will dwell on to each one of these verticals touch upon it for a while. One is about building efficiency. What is it that you do to build efficiency? And as Murugan said in the initial times, that what we are talking about, work from home, is nothing new. And the honesty is, it's not about work from home. There is nothing new in any of the things. In fact, you might term it as philosophical, but actually, humankind, while everybody says it's the imaginative race, humans are the most unimaginative race. And while we will be connected for rest 1 hour, I bet if you can tell me anything which humans have done, which they have not morphed from nature, there is zero amount of thing, zilch thing which I have come across which humans can do, which we do not morph from nature. And why I'm saying that is because of it gives a lot of comfort if you start thinking from that way, that everything which is happening around us, if even in digital, is something which you have already done. So when you talk about providing efficiency means what kind of efficiency it can bring in. You can have platforms, which means connected platforms can work. What things which are repetitive can completely be made outsourced to technology, and that comes under one part of digital. So you are a SME. People come back to me and say, "What kind of automation can we do? We have such a small business running about it." Small businesses can have so much of automation. Things, for example, if you are running a retail store, why cannot you think about that basis your stocking what and billing? Why cannot your reordering be automated? Why should somebody start looking at it? Why should your digital not start? Why cannot you start putting technology at a place that it starts looking at whether I should run, what kind of an inventory should be on FIFO, what kind of an inventory should be in LIFO model. And FIFO is first in, first out, LIFO is last in, first out, or whatever. I might be using some jargon, and I would try not to jargonize it. Okay. But there are such a simple use cases about digital. Digital helps you provide use cases. And why does use cases comes in? Because of one thing which is becoming in the ever fast world. The complexity can be made simple if you have data. We want to take decisions based on data, and the more data you have at hand, the more easier decision becomes. And technology helps you standardize and get that data out. That's one part about capability building or probably improving efficiency builder. That's one. Second, people come back saying, is Facebook digital? Reach, I pointed out the second part, which is the another thing is about reach. Why is reach becoming so important? An average human mind, an average human is exposed to about 55,000 messages a day. And can somebody, helps us to keep it interactive. Can somebody tell me how many messages can one person retain? Any number, whatever comes in your head, any number. Just grab your microphone and chime in. Any number.
125.
125.
None.
Sorry, sir.
Not more than 10.
Not more than 10.
I said none.
Oh, Mr. Trikha said none. Any other contestants? None 1, 10 1, 125 1. Okay. Anyone else wants to chime in? Okay. Yeah, somebody said 10.
10.
Yeah. I think
Mr. Katyal.
Mr. Katyal said 10.
Vimi Katyal.
Okay, Vimi Katyal said 10.
I think it's more about how relevant the message is to me. So maybe I can retain 30-40 messages, I can save them, I can remember them. Or sometimes it happens it's all the jargon, we just say read all, and we just make people feel happy that yes, we have read all the messages and it is delivered, but actually you have not gone through the list. And at the end of the week, you simply go to the top, clear chat, job is over.
That is one. And when I say, Mr. Goel, when I said messages, what I mean, and you have a very right point, relevancy certainly fits in. And you made my job easier by picking that word relevancy. I was about to come to that. Almost an average Joe is exposed to about 550 to 55k messages, and an average IQ person retains only about 5 messages. There's something to do with 5. If I ask you to name anything till 5, you will be very comfortable. I ask you friends, you will count 5. I ask you foods, you will count 5. I ask you leads, you will count 5. I ask you any damn thing, and that's the reason probably we have these 5 fingers. I don't know, but there is something to do with 5. An average person retains about 5 messages, those also of relevancy. And think about it, the amount of messages we are exposed towards. I mean, look at this. Look at this screen which you are looking at. So many people name. There's a branding suddenly coming at subtly. There is X. There are colors. All of this, and these are done to get into your attention segment. If an average person is only interested in 5 exposed to 55, how do we get from 55 to 5? Is bringing in relevancy, and that is where digital comes in, which allows you to bring relevancy to context. Today, earlier we were talking about, so the word started with mass production, which is like pick up things, produce for everybody, and that's got the industrial era in the entire. We are all still living through that industrial era, which is about townships got made because of factories. Factories were made because of you wanted to mass produce. Okay, and from there on, we said that okay, customize. So you got into customization. Today, people say create messages not for an individual, for the consumption movement. What is the one biggest thing, if I were to ask you and anybody, and I would want somebody to please exercise your right to switch that microphone on and grab that. If you were to tell me what is one biggest thing which Facebook has changed in the world, and the reason why I'm saying Facebook is because of social. It could be Facebook, it could be Twitter, it could be LinkedIn, it could be Instagram, it could be Tinder, it could be whatever you are using. Okay, so reach, yes, Mr. Alva, reach. Certainly, Facebook provides reach, but reach was ease of reach already always existed on that. Not that it is incorrect, but that's not the
networking.
Sorry?
Connect and networking.
Connect and networking, certainly, and we will keep a note of it. But that is also not the biggest change which Facebook or the social networking brought into. Anybody else? And you would probably agree when I tell you what I think this did. Anybody else wants to try out?
Yeah, this is Vimi Katyal. I just wanted to say that is it like people have started showing off whatever they have, means they want to means the exact word would be they want to flaunt whatever they have.
Okay, they want to flaunt whatever they have, and this is a very important thought. Just hold on to this thought. While there is commercial transactions and there was behavioral data which came, certainly commercial, behavioral, all of that is there. But Vimi, thank you, ma'am, for pointing in that direction. You pointed out it's not about showing off. Probably the right marketing words, and marketers are jargoners. The only thing which MBA taught me about how can I create complex jargons about the most simplest things, and for rest of the life when your boss beats you down and say simplify. So I don't know whether I did the right thing to go do MBA or not, but coming back to your thing, what Facebook or the social networking did is they erased the boundary between real life and digital life. Earlier, if we go back, connections were present. How many, a lot of us probably would have been into that Yahoo era, when the Yahoo messengers and Yahoo chat rooms, Yahoo emailers were there. Okay, and pardon my saying that you could be Deen Dayal in real life and you could be Dilli Ka Dude in digital life, and still you can get away with it. I can be Bhelu Ram in real life, and I can become the Mr. B on digital life, and I can continue with these two lives very clearly. Not that we don't have Angel Priya today, not that we don't have Papa Ki Pari today, but it is very tough to continue that. Okay, and I just use Papa Ki Pari not to be tilted towards one gender so that we are gender balanced. Okay, if you look at today, how the boundary between digital and real life is almost non-existent. And I'll give you one example, and then we'll come back on how can SMEs or how can we leverage to it. If you look at, all of us would have booked a taxi, am I right? We all have had cab hailing apps. What did cab hailing app do when we do? We continue to, it's a one of the simplest example to understand the current phygital world which we live into. We do not live into physical world. We are not on digital world. We have become a phygital identity. How does it happen? You pick up your phone, you get into a digital world, you see the like 10 cabs fighting with each other, sometimes riding over each other. It's a different thing if you are in India, you will figure out that the moment you hit that book a cab, all of them suddenly vanishes, and then you get a driver who is the furthest most. I don't know, at times they come from Arabian Sea driving from there, but that's a different thing. If you look at, you will see 10 different cabs. You are actually interacting in digital world with the driver. You will hit a book button, the driver, that interaction in digital, the driver will call you from a digital voice, becomes a physical interaction. He will come, you get into a cab on a physical world, you give a OTP, which is in a digital world, the device knows that the driver is there. He or the device informs you the driver is there. You get an OTP. The moment the OTP is fixed, the physical interaction starts, that your drive starts. The cab wishes you at times, saying, "Hello, Miss Katyal, welcome on this ride." Okay, that's a digital interaction. The driver at the same point in time says, "Madam, kidhar jane ka hai?" That's a physical interaction. So your digital physical is running. You pay in a digital world, you get off in a physical world. In one end-to-end transaction, if you start thinking about it, you have multiple digital to physical, and you are oscillating between these two directions.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's the biggest thing which digital has brought in. Number one, there is nothing called as pure digital and pure physical now. And this is very, very important thing to understand, and that's the reason I was spending so much time onto that. Pardon me if you thought that I was oversimplifying this and I was trying to create some drama about it, but that was for fun. Otherwise, it becomes very monotonous to kind of keep looking at some black screen. Thank you for switching some of the cameras on. Helps me at least have some human interaction. Otherwise, trust me, the digital interaction becomes very pale. So if you look at what is it doing? You are continuously living in a digital world. As a business, are you thinking from a digital direction? Are you enabling your digital direction? Today, technology is so cheap that it takes absolute zero money to be digital or zero money to be digital. Are you deploying that time? Either you will have to spend money or you will have to spend time. Choice is yours. And if you do not do that, your customer is there. The second biggest thing is the attitudinal change. What is the attitudinal change? And I'll again pick up the taxi example. Till now, if you were to go on a cab, and I'm sure all of us have booked cab before Ola, what was the thing? You would call up a local lully taxi stand and say, मेरे को कल सुबह एयरपोर्ट जाने का है, I want to have a cab tomorrow. Invariably, he will say the driver is not available. You will reason with him or her. Basically, the consumer was going to the producer in a servicing environment. I am not saying product environment. In a servicing environment also, the consumer had to plan his consumption and then look out for service or product. What digital does is, it allows a consumer to make random choices about his consumption, while the producer and service provider has to not only keep their capacity ready to serve, but also serve as per the need of consumer. And that is called as on-demand economy. Second biggest change which digital has brought into businesses. And think about it in your heads. Go back 10 years, the kind of a businesses were there, people were ready to wait. 30 years back, you waited for a scooter, the Lambretta, and I don't know how many of us could even remember Lambretta. There used to be one ugliest looking scooter which used to, the owners used to feel, yes,
I had Lambretta.
yeah, I'm sorry, it was the most prettiest looking thing I ever saw. So coming back, I mean, it used to be one scooter. I'm sure, Mr. Trikha, you will agree that was not the best at the looks. It
Not
was.
at all.
It
Heavy,
wasn't
heavy,
even best at the performance. I mean,
bulky.
not even bulky. I mean, you did not even need horn because of it used to make noises from all sides where it shouldn't. You
Yes.
switch it on, you kick it on, and the neighbor in the third probably colony would know that you are trying to go somewhere. Leave aside your own people. I mean, people used to use muffs, and still people waited for it for 10 weeks. Today we don't wait for any damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay, consumerism is at right, and consumer wants to feel in control. That is the second thing which digital did. Is your, and the reason why I'm saying that, it's a on-demand economy. It's not about putting a website for your business. It's about getting that digital thought in your head, and then start thinking about your business, that how can you supply things on demand. Are you preparing your business to serve on demand? It's not about website. And one of the best examples of a on-demand business to a website business is a difference between Amazon and Walmart. Walmart exists for decades. Amazon, when it started, it was a website. Walmart had probably more number of categories or the things in one of their stores as much as Amazon had. In India, Flipkart 2009 was only selling books, did not had anything. Home Bookshop had more books than Flipkart at that point in time. And today, look at where these two businesses are. Each business, and anybody who thinks that their business cannot be disrupted by digital, the only one business probably, and that is also I do not know, would digital would probably have challenges to disrupt, is if you are somewhere sitting in Himalayas without any connection, and there you are giving sermons, because of if you are connected, you will be disrupted. If anywhere humans are walking around you, you are in for disruption because of the people who are coming in. And try and understand, the customers who is coming today, their onboarding experience is not happening on that Lambretta. Their onboarding experience is happening on Ola. They feel that word is at their feet because of he and she can click and get whatever he or she wants. And this is the customer who you and me are going to serve tomorrow. And people who are in education would realize the definition of professor has changed so much. From being guru jo shiksha deta hai, to a professional who helps me aid, to somebody available on demand because of I click and suddenly my teacher pops up on my screen where I can chomp off on the food and he or she is still standing and trying to deliver with all they have got. And that is the difference with digital bot. Coming back, it helps. Where did I start it? I said digital. First thing digital does is about creating ecosystems in which you can connect. And this is what I was trying to say, connect. I think I've spent more than sufficient time onto it. The third thing which digital, banking is totally digital. Yes, sir. Mr. Banerjee, I think you tell me one thing which is not digital, and we can certainly have a longer debate because of things which are digital. I think that's a long list. And trust to me, what it does disruption. We think about, and I would be damned if I say that, if I do not say that. Half of the things which we feel invincible are going to get disrupted. And things which we hold, always remember, any profession in which there was novelty, the novelty was created for exclusivity. And technology first kills exclusivity and novelty, and that's where the third part is. Digital creates democracy. Democratization means whether you are big or small, whether you are the billionaire or you are the, you do not have anything. Digital treats both of them same. The technology does not differentiate. And I would come to it in a moment. Think about it. What does, if you go back 15 years back, what did you need? You need to have money. You needed to have capital. Somebody who has more capital can create better production facility, can produce more, can buy more raw, produce more, serve more, become big. Today, a kid sitting in Indore who did not have a room to stay in Delhi created the biggest stay chain in the world. And we can contest and argue whether it is successful or not. We can contest and argue whether there was a business model or not. But the truth of the matter is that he disrupted the entire hospitality industry. The number of rooms which the largest chain had in entire world, B&B adds that many number of rooms on a daily basis. Adds, not rents out. Oyo became one of the largest hospitality chain operating right out of Masjid mode. That's what digital does. It democratizes. I mean, think about it. How many of you, if I were to ask you, let's come to theory enough, let's come to some practice. How many of you have any kind of a consumer interaction? And I would really request if everybody can come on camera, if possible, and hook on the button which kind of says mute. Let's not keep it mute. I have said what I had to. I would want to now interact on some of the things because I think that it is important that I leave something with you which you can exercise. You should be a little more digital than what you are, or I should go back learning something more. So, how many of you have any kind of a consumer interaction or any kind of a digital presence? How many of you have your company's, say, a local Google business page owned by you? Do you know that there is something called as local Google business page which you can own in absolute zero value, absolute zero money? It takes some bit of a understanding and you can own that. What it does is when somebody searches for things, Google, the way it works is it prioritizes proximity. Of all the things, proximity is one of the parameters. So if you are a business, if you think that humans, please throw some lights on private page. Ajay ji, you might want to explain your question a little, and I would certainly throw light and sound and action, all three. I'm also a marketer, so I love the pomp and show. So yeah, Ajay ji.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Ajay, you unmute yourself now.
Hello, yeah. It's just, you're talking about the Google private page. Of course, we are using Google, but I never knew about this. So we are into some machine learning, data labeling work in Africa. So wanted to understand how can I use this in a better way? Because we are focusing on building up people from the slums, giving them data labeling work. So having this kind of a feature of a Google private page can help in localizing our services and attracting the right kind of people. So if you could throw some light, it would be a great understanding for me at least.
So Ajay, what that's called as Google My Business page. So Google allows, if you just go on Google and Google My Business page,
okay.
Google allows everybody to create two things. One is it allows a one page which basically helps them enrich their data. See, Google, I mean, think about digital at the core and the way one more jargon, which is called as a stack. Okay. In digital, we love this thing, which is a stack. A stack means how does things service pans out. Okay. So a stack of digital is very simple. At the core of it is data. At the center of it is the consumer. At the sides of it is technology. And the top of it is visibility and connection. That's how the stack of digital builds up. And that is in marketing jargons, we call it as a platform economy. So everything digital is trying to create a platform which means at one side you have a consumer, at one side you have a producer, and producer can turn consumer, consumer can turn producer. So think about it. You can also, in India, for example, you can also order food from Zomato and you can run a cloud kitchen on Zomato.
Yes.
Yeah. And similarly, I mean, I'm sure in South Africa you would do something, you can do on Dunzo the same thing. Okay. On Amazon, you can buy and sell both.
Yes.
So allow, and platform becomes only a consumer. So similarly on Google, one of the things which, in fact, the core of digital is consumer. Google's core is consumer. What they allow you, they say, you tell us more about your business. What do you do? Where you are? What are your services? What kind of a people you want to target? And that section is called as Google My Business. It helps you do two things. It helps you create your presence on Google Maps. It helps you create one-pager website, and it also helps Google to enrich their database. Which means next time somebody is trying to search, they'll be able to serve that. What it helps you is, while it is helping them, it is helping you. While they are searching, I am providing you the information. Okay. One more feature of digital. In traditional, everything was win-lose. You have a box of grains, I have money. I lost my money, got box of grains. You lost your box of grains, got money. So we are always looking out, and this, everyone talks about the trust. And in traditional business, that's the one thing which does not exist. Because of it's always, I mean, giving something is painful. Getting something is good. So if you are giving something, it's painful because of then you are one less of that thing. In digital, because if you are keeping the consumer at the center, suddenly it's always win-win. So all digital businesses start thinking from a win-win approach. And the reason why I'm again and again picking up that thinking, because of what I've seen, whether it is large or a small business, and most on SME part, that the moment somebody says digital, we start, oh, I need to get a website. My question is why? Who is your customer? Where is he looking for you? How can you connect to him? You should not ask whether you have a website or not. You should ask who is my customer and where is he looking out for me. Is he looking out for me? Is my customer going to go at website and look out for information, or should I put up a bot? The second biggest fad. Oh, everybody has app. I got to have an app. Who is your customer? Max people only open 6-7 apps. They can have a zillion. Is your customer willing to open that app for you? Oh, I need to go and create my presence on social, and I am going to serve to CEOs, and I will create my presence on probably say I will create a Facebook page. Is your CEO going to come onto your Facebook page? Your customers who you are serving, if you are a B2B CXO organization, is the CXO going to look at you in that? Even forget about Facebook, I will invest behind LinkedIn. Is he having time to interact with you on LinkedIn? Or should you use that as a page and create more organized forums to connect with your CXOs using digital?
Ashish,
sorry, Mr. Ghosh.
Ashish, if I may ask you,
yep,
basic query which lot of entrepreneurs who are for the first time trying to experience digital marketing, what would be the first, say, 5 things which you said? We remember 5 things. So what would be the 4 or 5 key suggestions? How should they start about? What should they do to initiate digital marketing?
Sure. Pick up a piece of paper and write first question. What is it? Why do I need digital? Who is my customer? Why do I need, which means what am I trying to achieve? Who is my customer? Where is my customer? What does he want? And how can I give him what he wants using, how can digital enable me to give him what he wants? If you are able to answer these 5 questions, you will not be needing the 6th one. And
Right.
Typically we fail to answer them as if you are the biggest critique. And I mean, so by profession, I'm a marketer. By heart, I'm a techie, and by education, I'm a mathematician. I did my honors in maths and physics, and typically, I am a pessimist. So I always have this one question by pessimism and skeptic, and I'm a UP guy. If anybody knows India, I'm sure you guys know. I am from a thick heartland of UP, and one thing which UP teaches you to be skeptic of yourself. So I always keep asking this one question: what if I do not do this? What will happen? I do not do this, and I think that's the underlining question you should always ask. If you are able to create a negative synthesis of what your mind tells you that is going to work, and if you can create a negative use case of what everybody including you yourself have told you that will work, then I think you have thought about 360 degree. Till the time you have not done that, and this is nothing to do with digital, this is to do with simple business management, always have a reverse use case. So if my team will come and say that this is what they want to do, I'll say, if we do not do this, how are you going to do the same thing? If you can tell me and convince me that you can do this, then we will do this, because of then you have thought where you fall back. Coming back onto digital, do not jump on the bandwagon. And please, this is one rabbit hole in which you get dragged so fast that you don't even realize. It's shiny. Every shiny object attracts. It's very nice to say I have a very bright website running. 2 more questions and you are flat. What is it doing for your business? Because of we don't get paid for creating shiny objects and creating nice stories. You create money by which you run your own houses and probably the households of multiple other people. And if you are looking for donations, please let me know. I have UPI available which helps you donate money very easily. So if you are not wanting to burn, and digital is a rabbit hole in which you can burn from 1 rupee to 1 billion. Stop yourself and ask yourself why, what is it that you require? Create a use case. And then look at your customers and look at his touch points and then start going on to the journey of digital. You'll be much more successful. Second thing, start romancing mathematics and numbers. If you do not like numbers, I have a bad news for you. You can have the best technology working for you. You will be a disaster in coming time if you want to do anything on digital, because of digital is a science as much as it is called as an art. Every damn thing is measurable. And what you do not measure on digital, please do not do it. And third thing, numbers lie like anything else. What can lie the best is mathematics. There is no bigger liar than maths. Because of it, you can make it say whatever you want. For example, I have the highest number of people visiting, or my people visit is going by 110% week on week. Okay, how much time are they spending? What are they looking? And pull that piece of toilet paper which you created on day 1 with these 5 questions. Who is my customer? What I want to do with them? What is it? What will success look like? And is your customer doing the same thing and saying, and is his user journey the same? And third, never expect to stop. Because of in my 20 years of career, I would have met the best of the people in digital. I interact with them on daily basis. I haven't come across a single digital project which is completely implemented. Digital only starts. It does not stop for a very simple reason, that by the time you are done with it, the technology would have changed. So do not go fantasizing about technology. When I said that it does not stop, means do not fantasize about technology. Every new shining tech is not for you. The center of it is customer and your use case. And that is where the biggest pain comes in, because of as small businesses or large businesses, We have romanced our business and our process. Just 1 minute, Mr. Goel. We are in love with our process and in love with our business process or the layers which we have created. Consumer could have gone to hell. We are the lalla taxi wala who likes his own driver. Driver has woken up or not. My taxi is XYZ. Customers are, by the way. Now that's what digital does. It has democratized the customer choices, and it is on to supplier and producer to supply and produce when I want. Think from that perspective, and then you can beat an ace digital without actually. You don't need to know what Java is. You don't need to know what JNodes is. That's something on somebody else. There are people who are available in abundance like me who does things from pennies to billions. Yes, Mr. Goel. Sorry.
Yeah. You see, like when we interact with the people who are in like politics or in business or writers, you see, everybody has a single complaint or maybe a feedback that I have so many followers or maybe LinkedIn or maybe on Facebook or Twitter. But when I post something, sometimes it happens that the likes or maybe the comment they don't cross even comes in 2 digit even. So you see, sometimes people feel that I have 1,000, 2,000 followers, friends, and the response is very pathetic. So probably everything looks around that is it fake? Is it that you have probably because when you create a Facebook page and people start liking it out of maybe they know you or you have done some marketing or you have gone for the like promotion of your page, so how do you actually probably can share with the people around here? How do we get adequate response from whatever we post? Like hashtags also sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You can tag people that also sometimes it happens that you tag 40 people and the response is only from 10 people. Now tag more and response is less.
Right.
Please.
Cool. Okay. I hope I can be very honest and brutal with my response, Mr. Goel.
Yeah.
Anybody who comes to you with that kind of a question, tell them to wake up and ask them one question. When was the last time? How many people will turn up if they probably throw their birthday party today? Nobody is interested in goddamn you. Nobody is interested in your song. You are writing about your cats and dogs and bells and whistles. Nobody gives a damn about it. They are not responding because of you are talking shit. Probably horse shit. Start making, it's not about what you say, it's about what I want to hear. Are you saying things which you have to say, or are you saying things which are going to add value to me? If you say things which are going to add value to me, I will do. It's the
I'm sorry to interrupt. You see, the dogs and cats, on Instagram probably have thousands and thousands of likes, and the person with the good quote or the person with the good message, and he just keep looking for somebody liking it.
That's true because of so getting a little bit technical, and you said very rightly, okay? Dogs and cats are followers because of they are doing what people want to see. So a little bit of this is a little bit of a technical and pardon my I couldn't simplify it here. Every platform has an intrinsic value, and there is a very popular paradigm which is called as honeycomb structure. Okay,
Yes.
so at the center of it is a platform. Then you have every platform has a deliverability, the consumer target, the what does the platform deliver. So whether it is about identity, it is about connection, it is about value. How does the value comes out of it? Okay, and stuff like that. You cannot. Most of the people, what they do is, I will take a picture of, or I will in the morning I will open up a paintbrush, will create a post about a kettle which I want to sell, and I will suddenly go and write it and paste it and splash it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all damn places which I know of. And then I expect, oh, I have 330 people following me on Instagram. All of them should like. Why should they like? people followed you. What is Instagram? Instagram, the basic nature of Instagram is visual. Why did Instagram came up? Instagram came up, the main delivery of Instagram is to be able to capture movements. Because of movement which has happened, once passed, will not come back. People are fearful of losing. It allows you to capture memories, which you can revisit. It's a completely visual format. Do you have something to say in which you are capturing visuals? If you were a rug firm who was creating beautiful rugs, put up those rugs in a real user environment. If you were a producer of dining sets, and I'm picking up just random examples, just had lunch, so that's the reason of dining and rugs, which is coming up. Okay, pardon me for if I am losing my sanity, which I have very little anyway. So, if you are a producer of a dining set, put up the real dining photographs, how it is being used, create beautiful stories about it, and then let people say. Also, in a classic AIDA model, all of us have gone through, which is about how do you raise, what is going to raise awareness versus what is going to get you the closers. You do not expect everybody clicking, and click does not means a demand. If that be the case, then you put it up on Amazon now, which is a lower funnel platform. I do not go on Instagram. How many of you or us wake up in the morning and say, my God, I am yearning for a tea. I need to, but there is no masala at home. Let me go to Instagram and order one cup of tea. What do you do if you want to order a tea? You will go to Chai House. It's like me going to a theater, opera, and sing and trying to sell probably a dress out there or something. It doesn't work that way. Your followers, the second thing, what we call as followers, it's a good marketing jargon, is actually your connection. But if network or platform would have said your connection, people won't have got so easy. Social media is made by geniuses for dumb. And the more dumb you keep, the more people will get into it. That's the reason you see half of the people dancing away to glory on social media, because of people come there to entertain. Do you have something which can entertain them? LinkedIn, people come to inform. Do you have something which I do not know? You will be helping me to inform. And also, if I share, will look good to be shared by me. It's not about my information. It's about why should I share? Think about it in real life, Mr. Goyal. I heard from you that 70% or 90% digital media budgets go waste. Now you would have told that this is as per BCG BCG, which came out in 1998 or 2020 December. There was a study by BCG which came out. Your words would have carried more weight. Not that they don't at this point in time, okay, but please don't take me otherwise. But there was an authenticity to the word. Am I right? Why would you use BCG name? Because of that put authenticity. BCG is not asked you. You suddenly became the follower of BCG.
Right.
I heard, all of us heard you because of you were saying it at that point in time. On social media, it's democratized word. The mic is not in your hand, everybody else's hand. And everybody is trying to shout. How do you ensure you are one of those 5 people whose message is going to register out of those 50,000? That is on to you. So, every time when somebody comes back to me and I get this question in loads, 3 questions which I get almost on a daily basis. Number 1, tell me a shortcut of becoming a digital, or tell me a shortcut or easy way of becoming a digital expert. And the funniest thing is, there is a course which does not exist, whose URL I mostly give it to people. Say, इधर एक URL है, इधर जा, ये कर ले, जब there is nothing easy word, but I can tell you a short way to start. You do this, it will take you 30 days, 2 hours every day. Come back to me after 30 days, and then we will discuss. Can you believe how many people would have come back to me? And I have had calls from professionals, I have had calls from students, I have had calls from friends, all types. Give me one number. How many people would have come back to me? Absolute zero.
That's
Absolute
how.
zero. And it includes people who have lost job in pandemic. They will call up and say that, can you help me find a job? You know, and touch wood, there is a decent amount of name I have built for myself when it comes to marketing and digital. Can you call up somebody or tell me one sure way, yaar, I want to learn something. And the reason I give a natural neutral URL is because of I know you are not going to look at it. And if you do, you will call me back and say that did not open, and I'll give you a real URL.
True, very true.
Number one.
Ashish, there is a query from Ms. Katyal. Interesting one. It's very important also. Thanks for raising the question. Can digital platforms help to find customers, or is it an illusion that we can target customers there?
Okay.
Very important,
Katyal,
interesting question.
Ms. Katyal, I would want to answer it in a different way a little. Okay. My question is, do you have a compelling story which your customer should listen?
Can I answer you? Like, means I want to understand that how can I know that my customers are there, in what platforms I am there? As Ravind Goyal sir just said that we don't know that we are going to have the people are going to like it or not. Means I can understand your perspective also. I'm also an economics teacher. So like I'm able to understand that I should know my customer well. But if I'm starting something new, uh, I can give you the definition of customer. I can explain you the other things. But if I want to start my own business, some other day, so how can I? The questions which you gave, the first 4 questions or 5 questions, should I frame them only to answer my what should be my real customer? That is what you want me to understand.
It's a very very interesting question. Okay. Can I ask you to just do a flashback for 10 years back when or 15 years when social media did not existed, and you are starting up a new business and you want to talk about it. It's a business which caters to mass. It's a B2C business. Okay. Now you are starting up, say, a business whereas you are going to sell coffee mugs. Okay. Imaginary situation, coffee mugs. And you have got these beautifully designed coffee mugs which you can personalize. And there is no digital, no app, nothing existing. How are you going to talk about it to customers?
I will go to various shops which are already selling
Very good. You will go to various shops which are already selling what?
cups. Means whatever the product.
Which are selling
Ask them
cutlery,
to keep my cups.
which are selling cutleries.
Yeah.
Okay. And you will show them cups. But these guys say, नहीं हमारे पास तो कोई आके ऐसा कुछ मांगता नहीं है. What will you do next?
I will try to open my own shop then. Means
You
if I
will
have the capital. Then the question is,
okay, which is a fair question. You opened your shop. How would you inform your customers? Who is your customer? How would you figure out कौन खरीदेगा इसको?
I'm stuck.
You would probably look at people who like to personalize things. Am I right?
Mhm.
You would look at you would probably look at people who like to collect. Is it collectible? Can I put it on? Where does things which people collect go? If it is, if I were you, I would probably ask questions. Is it what kind of a social strata? Normal आदमी कप कितने का खरीदता है? If a normal person buys cup for $50 and this cup costs $150, then I won't put it on a cutlery shop. I would put it at a shop which is artifacts kind of a shop. Where exclusive people come to buy, people who have purchasing power and stuff like that. What are we trying to do is to know our customer, know his customer journey, know his touch points. Okay. Fast forward 10 years, 23rd January 2021. If I were to answer the same question, I would again go back. Digital is a medium. It cannot become, it should not, and it does not, and it will not change the fundamentals of consumerism, fundamentals of business. If we do not know who is our customer, then we are doomed in any which way, digital or not. The question is how close you are to your customer. If you ask me, for example, and so one thing which I did very early in my career, I made one decision that I will not work with same industry twice. When I said this to somebody said, you are crazy. People choose industries once and then they spend their rest of life in that industry. I have changed 6 industries. Never went on to same level. So people said you will have to compromise. Probably if you are a X person, you will go at X at them. And touch wood, with God's grace, I have been recently successful, still getting my salary. Last month came, this month also is expected, and getting decent raises. For 2 reasons. One is because of I feel if you know your customer, nothing else. So when I was just before that, I was with automotives, and now I am in insurance. Okay. When I came here, the first question was, who is our customer? Where does he buy? An automotive customer does not look at same things differently. Would you believe? In a room full, we did a presentation to management on why should we on Tinder. When this word in corporate corridors, if you say, people will start giggling on sides and will start hoodwinking if you talk about, and we actually did a campaign on Tinder. Because of that's where my customer was. We did a campaign in India, and I'm sorry, please don't take me otherwise. We did a campaign on India on a website, name starts with P and Hub. It was Pornhub on which I did a campaign. Because that's where my customer was, and I don't care. I am not in a business of morality. I am in a business of using the platform to the max benefit. So wherever my customer goes, I will go there. Not that morality does not count. I probably won't do it on dark web. So it's not that you cannot scout for customers. The basics of fundamentals need to be kept in mind. You need to know your customers. You need to, yes, digital allows you to know them better. So the question probably I could answer is, there are tools. There is something called as social media listening. Okay. What social media listening allows you is that it allows you to be able to create different cohorts and then check. What digital allows you to do a lot of experimentation. You can do ABCD. And that's the reason I said, if you are not a mathematician, if you are not in love with numbers, you have a challenge. Because of what in a traditional world would happen is, you will spray and pray. Here, for every one click, you can measure and say whether it is going in the right direction, intended or not. Okay. Yeah. I hope I have been able to answer your question, Ms. Katyal. Yeah. Thank you. And economist.
No, thanks, Ms. Katyal, for asking the query.
One more query.
Thank you, Ashish, so much for sharing. Mr. Goyal, you were saying something? Yes, please, Mr. Goyal.
Because a lot of my business friends, they have such kind of queries. So I'm just asking, like Facebook or on Instagram, they ask you that you promote your page and acquire followers.
Right.
And one of my friend promoted his page and acquired around probably I think 700, 800 followers. And the kind of age group, he said that yes, it should be between 30 to 40, 45 age group, and probably with the graduation degree or 3-4 criteria is selected. Now he had good followership, 700, 800 from zero within a 15, 20 days time. And then he started doing what he was thinking of, and back to square one and said, यार followers जो है Facebook में जबरदस्ती डाल दिए लगता है, कोई भी respond तो करी नहीं. So how do we actually, you see what you are saying is right, that you know your customers and you probably do that, but like when we go to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, because I'm a user as well and I'm probably discuss with people, so both way, at both the ends I play around. Now the moment we go to Facebook, the audience selection is very limited. When you go to Instagram, audience selection is again limited. LinkedIn, they also have like limited inputs. So how do we decide that we know our customer, but how do we segmentize them on Facebook, Instagram, or on LinkedIn?
Very, very interesting question. Can I answer it in a little different way?
Ah, sure.
Please.
College mein, all of us have been to this political rally. Also, I mean, a lot of us would have done a gate crashing. शादी में gate crashing किया होगा आपने सर.
Probably mine.
Some of us, I won't ask the answer of it. Okay, I have done it. I have been a hostler. I have done all what hostlers probably will do, including gate crashing. Acquiring paid followers is like counting on your wedding guests without knowing whether they were invited or they were gate crashed. The number of I go when a gate crasher goes, I eat in the wedding as a guest. I enjoy the drinks as a guest. I dance as a guest without having any freaking clue about who the groom and bride is. The only intent is clear. इधर खाने का है, हॉस्टल का खाना अच्छा नहीं है, खाने का इधर है और इधर से निकलने का है.
Right.
Okay. Similarly, I mean, I would have used I did not want it to be a political. It's like platforms are like a political rally. Followers are like those buses which comes to political rally after giving them that puri sabzi. Who have no freaking clue of what is being spoken, no connect of who is going to speak. My target is to have that halwa puri. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ ये गलत है. I am not saying that. I am not saying you can build everything organically. I am saying if I were you, I would again go back and say, number one, next time your friend asks you that question, and probably do it with your, I would leave it onto your judgment. I have very little friends after I have started asking these questions. So please be judgmental when you apply these things. So my friends come back to me and ask me the same question. I say, पहले ये बता कि तेरे को पेट चलाने का जरूरत क्या था? Who did you wanted to reach and why? What did you want? What is your final outcome? Let's start with the goal in hand. If you don't know where you want to go, then everywhere you are reaching is a success. And if you know, then there is no problem. तुम किसको reach करना चाहता था? तुम चाहता क्या था? चाहिए क्यों तेरे को? A shoe manufacturer, a decently large, and I used to, as we were discussing with Mr. Ghosh, I have been on to startup mentor boards.
Right.
I've done all kinds of things, and I have been on boards, and probably the most disliked person on board is still, because of when somebody comes and asks these kinds of questions, not many people like. And my question remains same: why do you need followers? What are you trying to show off? Are you a Kylie Jenner? And if you are, then be Kylie Jenner, na? She built her entire business basis Instagram followers because of she did not pay to Instagram. She invested in creating verbatim which people wanted to see, including visual verbatim. In this same country, you have Baba Ramdev, and there is, what was the name of that girl? Pooja Sharma or whatever their name was. The girl who said that if India team wins, I will do XYZ. You remember, you have a Rakhi Sawant and Baba Ramdev both in this world. Both have their own set of followers. Both have ardent followers. Think about it. People storming into Capitol Hill for a president who so many dislike, but equal number of people like. What have you done to create a follow? Facebook, Instagram, all these platforms help you, provides you opportunity to create network. Network create करने का हो सकता है when you were promoting what you said, connected with certain number of people. The filters only help you put in front of people. They did not decide whether somebody will hit a like or not. What you said got liked by that person, but after that what you said I did not like, so I did not respond it. And after a point in time, who
I think
numbers?
Right. Mr. Goyal, I think I'd like to put your point here.
Because
There
This
is a huge
is a pertinent
difference.
question which has been asked, and we have been, like I myself have been also talking to entrepreneurs. One thing we need to appreciate and understand, technology is an infrastructure, like a bridge. It can help me get from one end to the other end. Now, it can help us to connect, but it depends on the people whom I'm reaching out, whether they like my product, my cup, or my service, or my food. It is up to them.
Right.
So today, the same network is available with all of us. So, question is back to the basics. Yes, Mr. Goel.
Yeah, I think I like to highlight here, Mr. Goel. There's a huge difference between, okay, making the customer to understand and understanding the customer. Both are not same. By going to LinkedIn, Facebook, and everything, you are making customer to understand.
Right.
But it's a huge difference between understanding the customer and making the customer to understand. Both are not same.
Very rightly said, Mr. Murugan. I am going to use that line. I am going to steal it.
Thanks, Mr. for
Very,
joining.
very beautifully said.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody has any queries? We are already at 4:18.
I'm sorry I overshot my time.
No problem. No problem. It's important. People had to.
Another key things which I come across with the leadership team while interacting on digital thing and everything, they should clearly understand the difference between digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. They use this word without understanding it clarity actually. Digitization is nothing but making into one and zeros. Whatever your manual things you are doing it by papers and everything, you convert them in one and zeros. That is digitization. Digitalization is taking that into your business process. That document that you digitized, how to take it up into your business process. That is digitalization. The last one is because of that, as your revenue increases, as the customer increases, your revenue leakages has come down. That is the transformation.
Yeah, Mr. Swami, I think very right.
Digitalization, then comes the digital transformation. Okay, that's a key message I'd like to share. Once again, thanks, Goel, for giving me an opportunity to attend. Thank you. Thanks, Ashish. It's a wonderful session. Keep it up.
Thank you, Mr. Murugan. I think you very rightly said what I was trying to say. One is about looking at putting things into digital format. One is a format change. One is a process optimization. And third is digital transformation is business optimization around customer using technology as a backbone.
Right.
Third is very, very painful. All digital transformation projects look shiny, but there is 95% transformation, 5% digital. And every transformation it churns you left, right, and center. It is very painful, so please pick it up at your own risk. Disclaimer, I am an insurance guy. Financial services run basis disclaimer. So that's one learning which I have got. I should put disclaimers.
Okay. We know that you are there to insure us.
Ashish, I have a question. Our business is to we're in advisory on business and digital transformation, plus we do marketing services and various things, as you know, as an agency. Now, the biggest challenge which comes is our customers, they get so impatient that after 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month or 2 months, they want to see the ROIs. We show them the metrics and we show them various analytics and all those things. But their point is, I have spent $10,000. What I have got from it. So where is that kind of a right expectation which we can share with them that, okay, guys, we are building your brand or we are building this exercise and this is what is going on. So they immediately get so impatient. No, I don't have time. I want to see this in 3 months. I want this much increase in my business, or I want this much awareness. So where is the kind of a point where I'm not able to probably phrase it that way, but where exactly you feel that we can satisfy them?
I think, Mr. Wadhwa, you have pointed in a very, very pertinent question. And don't take me otherwise. I mean, probably you would agree with me. The max amount of hurt to digital is being done by people like us who know nothing about digital. Okay, these phrases about digital ninja, digital transformer, okay, and there is one more, growth hacker. I just seem to love all these phrases, and you would see the digital guru, digital leader. Now there is one more, which is like, and for the first time I heard about ninja, I thought the guy would have had some kind of the moment you pass through, he would throw Facebook, something like that, but nothing like that happened. Okay,
like evangelist, like people used to say,
yes,
evangelist,
digital evangelist. Now, trust you me, I couldn't find a meaning of it, and I stopped looking through it. I said, okay, probably I'm not, and hence I said I'm still learning. I don't know what digital is, and I'm here to learn.
Yeah. It's a dynamic. It's a never-ending chapter. It's a live chapter. It is ever growing, ever learning. I mean, it's like as you said, platforms. They are what? They're live documents. You cannot say it is completed. The day you say it's completed means either you have sold it, or you have exited, or you have died. But it is running.
It'll keep running, and I invest significant amount of time reading. I mean, my digital library is 10 times larger than my physical library, and I have a huge library. One you get to see is very little portion of it, and from left, right, center. I mean, despite being a digital guy, I still love the feel of paper. Coming back to your question, 3 things what I do typically, because of I run these projects inside and outside both. Number one, framing my KPIs very clear. Okay, and onboarding the senior leadership. If I frame my KPIs very clearly and I am able to articulate it numerically, what will success look like before I invest the very first penny, or I do MVP and show that whether it is going to work or not. Helps me that unwanted discussion saying whether it is working or not. Second, if somebody, and not that I have not been into that situation, not that I have always won those situations. There have been times that I have said, I will not be able to do this because of, if you have a better person to do it, please let him do it. I mean, and I would be happy to stand by and be a fly on the wall. At times you don't need to you need to let people make a fool of themselves. The best part is that when they do, you can charge them double. And I have done that.
True.
I've been there and done that. Both in terms of work as well as in my consulting practice. If you are saying that you can do this entire transformation in 4 weeks, do it. I am happily ready to be there without any cost. Because if it happens, I will learn.
True.
If it doesn't, I am going to laugh so much at you because of now you have known the pain of it. But in all the instances, all the projects, one thing which I have ensured that I have a very clear-cut laid out use case. Most of the time, both us as employees and us as consulting partners, what we fail is expectation management. These challenges are of the project and expectation management. Half-baked digital ninjas come back with an information thinking that now I have deployed this one email chimp. Suddenly, all my customers should be ready to listen to me. Like Mr. Goel was saying, now I've got 10,000 followers. I used you as an agency to first, I put my gun onto your head and said, run a digital promotion. I don't have followers. Now I got 10,000 followers because of I blew my money off. Agency was also happy in taking that 10% media commission. The guy at the junior end was happy running something because of he's bloating money, so Facebook is calling him for his own thing. Everybody is happy. After 10,000 followers, suddenly somebody, a friend of Mr. Goel, will also have this expectation. Now I should be behaving like Modi. If I say something, everybody should listen to me. But the problem is, Modi has not spent, and even if he did, he is smart enough to keep investing. and he doesn't sell, he can still put it under the PM Suraksha Yojana or whatever it could be. Mr. Vadva and Mr. Tiwari can't. So if I would not have done that first step, if I would have asked, what is it that you are wanting to, and these are tough questions.
True.
Because of what you are doing is you are asking the real questions and asking people to think. All of us love action. We don't like.
I really understand the point. The problem lies in that when you are able to propose those things in so much of the depth, there comes any Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they will drop the pants by giving 75% discount, and the business owner thinks, oh, maybe Avinash was kind of ripping me off. He was doing a daylight robbery. So these are the issues which crop up then.
That's what I mean. And Mr. Vadva, I feel for you because if I go through it, both sides, I see it both sides. When I sit on my chair as a CDO, I have same person charging X rupees and the another one charging X divided by 10. Now, I mean, I have had people coming to me who do not know HTML, who do not have any clue about what a CSS script is, telling me that they have people for JNodes.
Wow.
And they will do a digital transformation and got beaten. They got beaten because of you have, I mean, I have a complete digital team, tech team of almost about 80 people. You run a bloody organization and you are coming out of nowhere and trying to tell me what you can do. That's a separate thing altogether, but not everybody does that. The way to deal with these things have only been two, and you will not be successful always. One is always to a large plan create a MVP. Okay, what it does is everything in digital allows MVPs, and that was my one thing which I wanted to leave behind to small businesses. Digital, anybody coming and telling you digital is costly is lying to his teeth, and anybody telling that it is cheap, you should kill them then and there. They are the sure shot liars.
Absolutely.
Digital is revenue oriented. It is action and outcome oriented. It is neither cheap nor easy nor fast. It is slow burn. It is tough. It is painful. It can be cheap if you know what you are doing. So,
thank you so much. Thank you. I really got a lot of things to pick up from there. But yes, in the interest of everybody on the platform, let's.
We can connect. We can connect later.
If you can share your LinkedIn with me, maybe I can, or whatever way you want to connect. I mean,
it is Ashish01. You can. My LinkedIn ID is Ashish01.
01 as in zero, numerical 0 and
numerical 0 and 1. And my name is Ashish Tiwari. Future generally, you will search. I'm decently visible.
Share it with you.
Yeah, as I
we'll
say,
share it.
I have a lot of followers. I do not know what they think of me.
No, that is true, Ashish. You said the right thing, and it is there. It is there always, because as Mr. Vadva mentioned, like we get that query. Like I'm on a board of 2 AI companies in Gurgaon, and we do a lot of AI and ML implementation in oil and gas. Very expensive. We don't sell any piece of technology cheap. If anybody wants, the team we have built up in the last 10 years, the similar thing me and Mr. Goyal are working over here. People think technology is cheap. We just walk out after having a cup of tea or coffee if they're looking for short returns, and if they think that technology is cheap, it does not work.
It is. I mean,
yes, definitely.
We have walked out of Indian Oil, GAIL, like that today they are customers yielding around 70-80 crores of business, which is there. And typically these queries keeps on coming in, and in fact Ashish has a rich experience in this domain, and that was the main reason of getting Ashish onto the platform and taking it up.
Absolutely.
In fact, Mr. Goyal, Mr. Ghosh and Mr. Vadva, Mr. Goyal, 80% of business you will have to refuse.
Yeah.
Because of that 20% will be only worth. And second, MVP helps. It helps keeping your customer very clearly aligned. It helps you knowing what you are getting into. And third, if somebody still wants to go and jump off the cliff, either be a Socrates or just forget about it.
You can just say rest in peace. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, no, I say go burn in hell. Why should I?
Great.
If you are not saying to rest in peace, why should I? Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think it's more about what Avinash is saying and Ashish is saying
Yes.
about a person probably in a lot of regional languages, they make movies every week or every 10 days. And some of the producers, they make one movie in probably a year or 2 years time. Their revenue and the person who is making a movie every 10 days, probably they don't achieve in their entire lifetime what they achieve out of 2 years. So it's how much you are putting in, what kind of patience you are carrying. So that matters a lot with the agencies, with the customer, with everybody around.
No doubt. No doubt.
So it was very interesting and very informative session for everybody around, and I hope that people will get advantage of it. So vote of thanks is always by Sandeep. So I'll give this opportunity to him now.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for joining in. It was a wonderful time discussing with you and knowing your thoughts. Thank you, Ashish, so much. I know you had some personal, your friends, his brother is sick. Despite that, you made a time to spend this valuable information with us. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice time. We'll catch up with you again on our next webinar coming Saturday. Till then, stay fit, take care. Bye bye.